I am out walking, trying to decompress from one of the most intense weeks that I have had in a while. Quarter end close is truly not for the faint of heart. Month end close isn't so horrible because it's almost as if like we have a couple extra days to get it done and to meet our deadlines, but for some reason, for quarter end close, they remove days. Not only do they remove days, they add more stuff for us to do. So it just is quite challenging at times, especially if things don't work out the way that you hope. Well, we hope that they will. In order for me to prepare for close, I actually worked last Saturday and Sunday. This is one of the good things that came out of the pandemic is the opportunity to work at home. I appreciate working at home on the weekends or late nights because then no one is online really. And so minimal interruptions and I mean not that anyone interrupt me any other time, but it's nice to do it when you're in the mood to do it and at your pace and even if you want to. So for me, I saw that this was going to be not such a great close on Monday when we missed the first deadline. Well, when I missed the first deadline, which for me is the easiest. And on Tuesday, when I learned the reason why we missed the deadline, I was miffed because it was something simple. Like it was something that could have simply been done. Since I don't have control over others, I huff to myself, puff, and let it go. Because at the end of the day, the onus is on me. But what it does do, though, is it delays the other things that I have to do, which is quite annoying. So it went from there. Then, of course, as per usual, system interruptions, Excel is slow, and it's just one thing after the next. Now, misery love company, and the person with whom I used to be able to kind of like vent to or fuss about the systems with or my agency that I work with isn't there anymore. So I had to basically do it on my own. Like I had to basically like just go through the motions. I had to remember to breathe because sometimes I forget to breathe even when I'm walking. um, but it was horrible. Now, I will say that with every challenge, I am grateful when I make it to the other side because I'm able to look back and I see the growth that I have made over the years. Um, I found that, I mean, like at one point, I messaged my manager and I said, I'm not complaining, but I'm complaining because I'm not one to complain. I'm one to basically like just figure it out and move on. But there are times when it is necessary to be vocal about the things that are happening, right? Because if there are issues that needs to be fixed, if not shared, then they won't be fixed. You know what they say, a closed mouth is never fade. And so I did kind of give her a list of things that were just not great this go round. Now, it's not, because I feel like if it were only like one thing, it wouldn't have been so bad. It was just one thing after the next, after the next. And I think it's just like, goodness. And for that, I worked until 1:30, a couple mornings in order to push things along and get things done. But it didn't have to be that way. If everyone did their part, then it wouldn't have been that way. For those of us in finance and accounting, we're the ones who have to get that thing over the finish line. So regardless of whatever, like people can get it to us as like 11:59 p.m. and we have to get it done. Now, some people have the attitude of, well, I don't get, I ain't doing it. Go to my bed. That's not how I'm wired. So for me, like I have to finish. I mean, unless my eyes are closing and I'm truly incapable of doing it, I have to, I'm wired to basically finish things. I'm wired to basically accomplish that task. I'm wired to meet deadlines. And if I can't meet them, then I let it be known in advance to set expectations. It was stressful enough where at one point tears came to my eyes because I was just so stressed out. I was so tired. I was so just over it. And as soon as they came, I literally did like this, not now, and they went away. Because what are tears going to do? What are tears going to do? Tears help. Tears do help. Tears help to kind of release some of the stress and attention. But I felt like in that moment I didn't even have time to cry. I just wanted to finish. Like I don't know. It just felt so painfully challenging. Like, oh my gosh. But the one thing that I always know when close comes around is that there is going to be an end. There is going to be a full stop, and the next day I'll be able to look back and breathe. Hence the reason why I'm out walking today in this fashion. Usually I'm walking with more intention, but today I'm like, you know what? I just want to decompress from this week. We have another deadline, and usually I like to just get everything done, boom, done out the way, so that I can take it easy the following day. But even yesterday turned out to be a little intense because I had to reopen what was submitted and redo everything. Well, not do everything, redo everything, but basically um, redo some things. And so I don't know. At some point, I was like, you know what? It is what it is. And I tried. Like I literally was up. I think up until like 7 o'clock last night or 8. I was online and I was trying. I was really trying to basically get that other thing done. But my brain was like, nah, sis, not today. And then at some point, I said, you know what? I'll just do it on Monday. I was considering today, but I decided, you know what? I'm not. Today, what am I doing today? Today, I want to go and clean up the garden a bit because I guess at some point, I didn't realize that it's October. I knew that the month changed on the calendar, but it did not resonate in my brain. Because at one point, I was trying to figure out, like, why is my sunflowers dying? And I was like, well, I guess it's that time of year. But because it's still so warm outside, um, it did not resonate in my brain. When I woke up this morning, it was cool in the house, and so I didn't know what to wear for this walk. So I decided to have winter up top, summer on the bottom, and I'm glad because it's actually quite nice. The weather is quite mild. So today I'm going to uh, clean up the garden a little bit. So some peppers still coming in on the tree, so I'm going to pick those, and then the pots that are no longer needed, where the some tomatoes are dried up now, going to basically, clean up some of that. And then I'm going to visit my auntie. I'm going to prepare some veggie pasta. And actually, it's not veggie, it's vegan, vegan pasta. Um, and then get caught up with some social media stuff, things that I need to do. But work can sometimes be challenging, and sometimes I think like when the cycle comes around, like I don't know if it happens to folks in this field, but I often wonder, why do I do this? Like, why do we volunteer to do this? This is insane. But then I remind myself that I chose the field of accounting. And I actually love it. As odd as it sounds, I actually appreciate it because accounting is um, that field where you don't really need to work with a bunch of people. You don't have to worry about small talk. Yes, you have colleagues and stuff that may want to chit chat, but it's not a must. Like, you don't have to huddle to come up with ideas and, huddle to work on this project to get it done. We have meetings to talk about logistics. We have meetings to talk about the issues. Like, we're going to have like a meeting, I'm sure, to discuss close. Usually I'm quiet in the meetings. Usually um kind of looking at my watch to see like how much longer. Crazy enough, funny enough, like the last meeting that we had a couple weeks ago, um at some point I said, and I've never done that before, where I was so blunt with it, where the meeting started, and it was actually a good meeting because there was an agenda, and everything on the agenda was relevant. The meeting starts, and I guess I was there physically but not mentally, because I heard the sound come out of my mouth and said, "How much longer is this meeting?" And then manager laughed. And I don't remember what she said, but it wasn't anything rude or anything like that. And then I realized it was kind of like quarter to 11. And in my mind, the meeting started at 10 o'clock, but the meeting actually started at um, 10:30. But my mind was just ready to go. But when I realized the error in my timing and the fact that I wasn't there and came back, I decided to just settle down and chill. I'm glad I did, because in that moment, it kind of, I don't know, we all laughed. We all laughed a bit. And then I felt a little bit more comfortable. And then conversations were had. In this meeting, I definitely will be voicing um, my concerns about what transpired this time around, because there were just too many different things that I think, could have been avoided. And I actually found myself during this close cycle being a little bit more stern with some people, something that I've never done before. Because usually I just allow them to do whatever. Okay, it's fine. But this time I literally said to somebody, "Look, when you sign off and you go to bed, I'm still online because I have to get it done." I felt I didn't feel comfortable saying it out loud to them. But in that moment, I needed to say it because I really was annoyed, because the reality of it is that is what happens. And it made me realize that this is true introvert behavior. We allow people to take advantage of us, and then we apologize for, like, we feel badly. When in reality, they don't feel bad. They don't feel bad, right? But this time around, I knew for certain that my my concerns were heard by the other person based on what was shared with me from a third party. And it made me feel good to know that I am respected enough where they heard me and they did everything in their power to get me what I needed so that I can accomplish the task at hand. A closed mouth is never fed. And oftentimes we choose to just stay quiet because it's easier that way. Because if we say something, then we may sound awkward. Um, We may, hear a no. We are afraid that we're going to be disrespected or insulted. And sometimes we just don't have the strength. So I really and truly sometimes just don't have the strength to speak, because sometimes we know that the other person isn't going to care because they're going to do whatever they want to do. So now I'm getting to the point in my life where I am, in some sense, matching that energy. It's almost as if, like, if you don't care, then why should I? The answer to that is I should care because I have to meet the deadline. So I'm managing it differently now. Yesterday, I thought about the way that I handled three situations, and how by speaking up, it helped to push things along, which made me pleased to see that that's all I had to do all this time, all these years, all these close cycles. All I had to do was speak up. Um, I'm hoping that this will set the tone for those close cycles to come. I'm looking up in the tree. There's some nests. I can't look at it, but look like there's some nests. But anyway, it was that kind of week, and I'm grateful. I did get a compliment though, from someone that I don't even know. They're not even in this country. No, actually, one of them is in a country, and the other one isn't. And the one that is in the States, shared that she was speaking with someone and telling them how great I am, and it made me feel good, um, because sometimes you don't, not that I needed, not that I need the praise or anything like that, because at the end of the day, that is their opinion, and they could just be saying that. You hear them? They're saying, yes, you are great, girl. You are great. But I think sometimes it's nice to know that people actually do see you for whatever it's worth, and that your efforts are not ignored, and that you matter. Whether it's in the professional sector or private, whether it's friend or neighbor or colleague or someone at the grocery store. It's just nice to know that you're appreciated. Anyway, I am going to continue on this walk. I actually feel better now that I have gotten this off of my chest. So I am going to pep up my step because it is 9:57. I'm almost at 5 miles, and I want to basically like just walk a little bit faster now so that I can be done and head home, because I have lots to do today, and I'm hoping to get most of it accomplished. Anyway, thank you for listening to me talk about my week. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe and come with me on my journey. Please share in the comments if you, especially if you're in finance and accounting, and how you handle your stressful close. But yeah, I wish that you have a wonderful day. I'm here in the park, and there are fellows out playing. I can't see it because there's a glare, but there are a bunch of teams out playing flag football. It's a great day. So if you can, and if you're here in New York, get outside. Get outside, go to the park, walk around the block, do something. Because these bonus warm days are just that. They're bonuses, and you should take advantage of it. Anyway, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.